It's imperative that you realize that privately the black nobility refuses to ever recognize any government other than their own inherited, who they inherited from. They want to recognize their own inherited and divine right to rule. That's really the Moorish nobility of Europe that they hijack and they call it black nobility, and then people think that when they say black nobility, they're talking about the Moors. When they're not talking about the Moors, they're talking about the Europeans that infused themselves in after the fall. And why you have to be careful with the whole black and white thing and not identifying people by that.
By nationality.
Because you create jurisdictions that you don't even know, and just this alone is why they would kill this dude and burn all his books.
Because when they say black nobility there, right, they're talking about people that don't have as much melanin as us.
Right.
That's what they're talking about.
Right, because they're the real black people. Because like the brother was saying, the etymology of black is pale. So when you say black people, you're really talking about pale people. And then when you say white people, you're really talking about dark-skinned people.
Because we're the ones who have the light, right? And
Because white in terms of illuminated.
Right, we're the ones that are illuminated.
we're the spectrum.
When you said that last Saturday, when you said black really means white, I'm like, what? I'm like, huh? But now in terms of the science and in terms of,
and that's the perspective or the concept that we have to look at. It's not from a third party perspective. Like the Moors went to Spain and then the Moors, like we went to Spain.
Yeah, like
And
we have to,
all those people.
we have to replace black with Moor. But Moor does not mean the same thing as black. Like you can't say something, okay, Moor is just like saying black. It is, but you can't say that because people are gonna try to think they're synonymous. But they're not synonymous.
If you say Moor, people know exactly what you're talking about. If you say black, they're skeptical. If you say black, you can be Negro, you can be colored,
Right?
you can be African, you can be African Canadian, or maybe African Caribbean.
Yeah, but that's how we have to look at Moor though.
You know what I mean?
Like you wanna like, even if you think you're those things, you're still Moor.
You should be able to say that you're Moor.
You're not a black Trinidadian or a black Guyanese or a black Jamaican or a black African or a black anything. You're a Moorish dad. Right? And then that's a contradiction because those things are labels. Those things are labels, so you're not those things either. You're just Moor, and that's that. Who dwells in the corporation of Jamaica.
People call me Blasian, right? Because they're black and the Chinese.
So they call you a black Asian?
They say Blasian.
A black Asian, right? Yeah, all that foolishness.
That's straight up, I'm telling you more.
And then you without you like them saying that and then you not
You even
saying
tell them
you
man.
know what I mean?
You tell them man because man is more too.
Man, M-A-N?
M-O-N.
Oh, M-O.
So that's where this term, monastery and those things come from, like monsoon and those words, because that's who we are. We're the Mons as well, right? In Asia, that's what they refer to us to, and that's more. So that's where those terms, monastery, monsoon, because we used to ride them on the waves. You know what I'm saying? Like surfing. That we did that.
All of Asia.
Without any. We did that for long distances.
Imagine surfing in a boat, not surfing on a little board or whatever.
Yeah. Navigating.
Surfing in a boat.
You know what?
Across the oceans, without just knowing. Okay, well, on this day, based on the zodiacal constitution, all the winds are going to be pushing the seas that way.
The original Vikings, you know what I'm saying?
Just ride the wave,
yeah.
And we're going to eventually hit land because every wave has to crash somewhere.
That's right. Man will be in the sea like kilometers away. He doesn't know where he is, and he could read the ripple of the wave. Because if the water goes and touches the land back out here, it ripples and causes the effect that goes out there. If you're smart, you can
Comes
read.
back, yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know? And then us being the navigators and all that. Any other comments or pressing matters?
Yeah. Yeah. This thing about Adam and Eve being the first man and woman.
There was many Adam and Eve. Which one of them you talking about?
We're at.
See?
We're at.
No one ever went on the
We're
class.
at. Hey, you're at. Hey,
They break it down.
Like,
Adam.
you're at. I'm at. He's
Adam,
at.
atom.
Exactly. We're all at 'em.
So,
So that's a anagram for atom.
atom, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And then what atoms do,
Evolve.
Yeah.
See how we catch other.
so
Yeah.
there is no this. And then this is the first man.
Yeah, like that's our first, from another perspective to add on, like that's, like Adam is like a dam too, like blood, right? And blockage. So that's our first existence in this physical world where
Okay.
really it's our captivity.
World. Yeah, yeah.
Really it's our captivity because now,
Are you,
yeah, we're coming soon, right?
Oh, wow.
So it's like a dam, it's blood, right? So that's our first makeup in the
and
physical.
You might, and you might go and, because no drawing specifically said, we're not dealing with no secrets and stuff. This is not
Man,
no,
I gotta put my.
It's not no lodge.
This is.
or no secret
Yeah,
chamber
no
of
secret thing. Yeah,
learning.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it's time. It's time.
Can't hurt that shit.
First atom was made from the dust. The Adam from the dust.
Right.
Adam from the air.
You're gonna ask anybody, metaphysician or whatever, about this, and they're gonna want to sit on
And then-
5 hours, go through all these books, showing you that, you know what I mean, Adam is not the first man.
And then Adam and Eve,
What,
you could give them that too, like let them have that.
you know,
But that's their thing, like
that's their thing.
that's not our creation. You know,
Okay, so-
that's maybe a perspective of their creation if they want to
Okay, so
call it like that.
when this Shakespeare or whoever was writing those words down in the Bible and they said Adam and Eve, right? Did they know that they were talking about the atom?
They're talking about this.
Did they know, or were they just writing names because?
No, of course not.
No, religion was
They do?
used.
Shakespeare?
Yeah.
Did he say?
Yeah, I know he was a big friend.
Shakespeare?
Freemason and
Or
so
probably
he
knows
must have known.
the
Yeah.
first and
Those
two.
guys-
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're-
Those
His name is
they have
included
to
there.
know.
Shakespeare's name is not Shakespeare, my friend.
No, I know that.
Yeah.
I know.
What's his
Religion,
name again?
I know.
Francis
Some
Bacon.
people say Francis Bacon, yeah, some people say.
But
Yeah,
some
yeah.
people equate that hidden character Bacon with another person.
Yeah.
So it's all one thing within one, a riddle in an enigma in a mystery.
Inside a mystery. Yeah.
So if you go and try to solve the mystery, you go in an enigma. If you go in an enigma, you solve the enigma, you go in a riddle. You go in a riddle, you come back in a mystery and enigma.
Mislead until somebody.
Look at,
No, it's not,
brother,
it's not misleading,
once you
it's
know.
a cycle.
can you
Yeah,
write
yeah,
evil
yeah.
It's just a
there?
continuing cycle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That if you're not gonna step away from the cycle and look at it, you're a part of it.
Yeah.
Because you're the one that's well, damn, you know, and then you get to the riddle part, and then you're gonna go research the history of riddles and what riddles mean and how do you decipher riddles when it's gonna lead you right back to the enigma, which is gonna lead you right back to which is just a cycle continuing over and over.
If you're not knowing where
and
you're
you
going.
catch yourself in a paradox.
Brother, can you write
What's going on?
Eve up there? Eve, the
Right,
word
yeah.
Eve. Look at that word. If you spell it backwards, you still get Eve. But
Yeah.
doesn't everything evolve out of Eve? Doesn't all atoms evolve out of Eve?
In the state of being a woman.
How much kids did your grandmother make?
Yeah.
Generations did she make?
Yeah. I hear you.
Right?
I hear you.
And
This
that's
is why Roman drawing says.
and then that's a backwards concept too, of her coming from us, because there's nowhere in creation where that happens, and our master teacher, Taj Tariq Bey, will tell you that your navel is your universal birthmark. right? And that's Nave L,
That's right.
navigation of gods, right? So everybody has a navel, and if you don't, and if you have a navel, that means you came from a woman.
Yeah, yeah,
So
Undisputable.
yeah. That's
Right.
true.
And when we get to that point right there, right? When we get to that point of everybody has a navel, nobody ever thinks back to ask the question, well, does Adam have one?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Because if Adam has a navel, then where did he come from?
Mm.
He obviously didn't come from dirt or whatever.
Came from a woman.
Yeah.
But then again, maybe he did come from dirt because earth is a mother.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
But it
You know what I mean?
but it refers to the feminine. Though.
right,
Always.
Feminine.
exactly. That's
Archetypal
the
energy.
idea that it's
First.
going back to.
First.
Right?
So, okay,
which is
why-
why Noble Ali said uplifting fallen humanity, because humanity is woman. And then
He's
once
carrying
she
her.
has the information, she's gonna pass it to the children that come to her anyway, because she's God. And then they will come out with this knowledge already in them.
So woman is God. Woman
You
is
see
God.
that picture where he's carrying?
Of course.
Eh? You see that one? That picture where he's carrying? You see that picture? You see that picture?
Brits make it gay.
Yeah, there's a
That's what
picture.
that's all about.
There's a picture of one of the literature you gave me as a woman. In
Yes.
Yeah. So he was off
That's
that.
fallen humanity.
That's called humanity, because humanity is written on her.
Okay. It was kind
In
of
the
blurry.
picture.
It was blurry because it was
Yeah.
kind of not
Like in the
written.
picture,
Yeah.
humanity is written on her.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
he has one foot on a rock, and it says the rock of salvation.
Yeah.
And he has one foot in water, and the water says the cares of the world. And then he's lifting her up. And the reason why he's carrying her is because he owes her because she carried him first. So it's just payback.
So so when I'm reading Allah, right? I'm reading Allah. He said this.
Well,
he.
I knew that's what you were gonna ask.
Yeah. It's just kind of a natural.
But that's only,
flow, right?
they did that to take us away from that feminine energy,
Yeah, yeah.
to make us think that it was masculine first.
Right? Even in the time frame that was put together, you can't make metaphysical statements like that.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise,
It's
not gonna
not
talk
correct.
about. These
It's
guys
not
are just
correct.
coming out of slavery.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna tell them that God's a woman after they were indoctrinated with he patriarchy and the patriarchal mindset. So you have to catch them where you can catch them and then lead them out of their madness that they're going in.
Because I was looking at the word Elohim, God being, my name is Michael, and it's Michael,
Yeah.
right? And it says Elohim is actually it's male and female energy, right?
Yeah. No, well, Elohim is not male and female energy. El
Yeah.
is male and female energy.
Male and female
Because
energy.
El
Yeah.
is Elohim,
Means more than one.
El
El is one and one.
Yeah.
Elohim is more than one.
Eloah. And Eloah, this one's the feminine one. This one's the masculine one.
Oh, there's Elohim and the Eloah.
Eloah. Right?
White.
And right, when you
I'm
look
gonna
up,
tell you, that's a beautiful word right there, and
But
I've
when-
never seen that word.
but when you look up Allah, the root of Allah, they'll tell you that the root of Allah comes from this, not this.
Yeah.
So if the root of the word Allah comes from the feminine,
Yeah.
Allah must be feminine too.
then, and it's not making no reference to this in the definition of Allah. It's only making reference to Eloah.
When you mention Allah.
When you mention Allah,
Yeah.
you look up the definition of Allah. Where did Allah come from? Allah came from Eloah, which is feminine.
And then the Elohim created.
The
The
Elohim
other
has nothing to
stuff.
do with it.
Okay.
The Elohim are
Guardian, seven guardian
exactly.
spirits.
They have a job to
Angels.
do. Right? Just like man has a job to do, and he's supposed to do what the woman says to do, because that's just the nature of stuff. That's how it goes. You know, even if you don't know, the sister's always going to try to give you orders.